Hey guys, second video. Talking today about the crossover symmetry system. We've had a few shoulder niggles and stuff come through over the last week. A few guys complaining about overhead position and a few just pinches and little twinges and some uncomfortable pain in their shoulders. We have this crossover symmetry system which is kept down the back of the gym. A lot of people see it, shy away from it because it's up in the corner where a lot of people are doing weightlifting and we don't want to sort of go down into that area. But I'm here to firstly encourage you to go down in there. The guys aren't going to bite that are there, and they'll definitely get out of your way to allow you to do some preparation and some shoulder work. Now with the crossover symmetry, the whole idea behind crossover symmetry is to one, warm up and activate the stabilizing muscles around the shoulder girdle. So we're trying to retract the shoulder blade, allowing the head of the arm to move correctly into the overhead position with plenty of clearance and space in the shoulder. Now that's the first one, and then the second one, or second reason for crossover symmetry is to actually strengthen those muscles. So we've got two sort of programs. They're written on the little plaques that you can see up on the wall behind me. One's called Iron Scap, that's the strengthening program. The second one is called Activation. So that's the one we're going to try and do before the workout. And then the Iron Scap is if you've got some shoulder injuries, we want to be doing that probably 3 to 4 times a week if you can. Come in, step through the program, do the movements, and hopefully clear up some of those shoulder issues. When we're training CrossFit, a lot of the time we are pressing and moving our arms overhead. So with that increased volume of work through the shoulder, we need to take care of ourselves a little bit more and do some maintenance work. So with the crossover symmetry, as the word suggests, it does cross over. So when you grab the bands, there should always be a cross in the bands. They generally come in a set of two, a lighter band, this one's a 7 pound, and a heavy band, this one is 15. This will work for most people up to an intermediate level. If they're a little bit tight to pull on or a little bit hard, then we can go back to the yellow and green bands, which are a little bit lighter in strength. Work your way through, see what's comfortable, and we'll go from there. So for the crossover symmetry, we want to choose a band that is not so heavy that we're using the big muscles to pull on the band, but something that's nice and light so we can really position the shoulder blade how we want to while we move the arm through the range of motion that we're after. So Matty's going to come in. I'm just going to show you a couple of points on his back that we need to look at. So you'll notice Matty will grab the band in opposite hands, cross them over. Then from there, the first thing he's going to do is set his shoulder blade. So you can see it's loose there, and you can see the creases in his shirt, and as his shoulder blade pulls back and down and into position. Then from there, depending on what the movement is on the board, he's going to go through, keep these nice and isolated so that position stays stable while he moves his arms. This is the priority here, rather than just give us a couple of shitty reps, maybe, rather than just sort of pulling back and allowing that shoulder to come up and pinch through this position here. We have an acromion on the top of our shoulder blade, which needs to retract and come back to allow the head of the humerus to come up and be able to press without sort of jamming up and pinching. So that's what we're after. So all the movements we do, the priority always is on that shoulder position, whether we're pulling the bands down. You can see that good shoulder position on Matty there. Cheers, Matty. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is mobility. So going through some myofascial release of the muscle. So I'll grab Matty again, and I'll just film Matty up on the pole to start with. So one area we need to work on is the pec. You might struggle to see Matty's pec there, but it is there somewhere. We're going to put a ball into it and then move our shoulder through that range. When you get a tight point or a point that hurts, just work on it for a little bit until that slowly releases, and that's going to help to free up the muscle tissue on the front of the shoulder and allow your shoulder blade to pull or allow your muscles to pull your shoulder blade back into a better position. So we can also look at another point, which is in our lat. We can do it on the pole, or this one can also be done on the ground. So Matty's just jamming it in there under his shoulder, and same thing, he's going to find that real nasty point in there and just work around on it, move the arm around. So stop there for us, Matty. So you can see there, right under the armpit, just inserting into where the lat is, and there's a little pressure point in there that you'll feel that will help you to free up that shoulder as well. Cheers, Matty. Alrighty, so from there, a couple of things to address. One, we want to be working on our shoulder strength and mobility stabilization through crossover symmetry prior to the workout, and then 3 to 4 times a week if you do have some issues. If not, maybe once or twice a week just to maintain that strength and the stabilizers. Secondarily, we need to make sure we're stretching through the lat and the pec, and then also getting a ball and you know, doing some release and trigger pointing in through the chest and the lat. Lastly, there are a number of other stabilizing things we can do, like bottom-up kettlebell presses, which we do sometimes in the warm-up, Turkish get-ups and things like that, to really help stabilize and strengthen that shoulder position. To make sure you're looking after the shoulders, it will help prevent injury, it will make your movement feel much better and stronger. If you've got any questions, make sure you ask one of the coaches, or again, post some questions in the comments to this video. All right, thanks guys.